Stunning beaches, delicious food, and cities full of history. These are only some of the things that come to mind when you think about Europe. But what if I told you that Northern Europe and Southern Europe seem like two separate continents? Would you believe it? This is especially true when it comes to quality of life and economics. But why is there such a big, clear difference between Southern and Northern Europe? Trust me, the reasons are very different from what you think, but let's find out right away. First, let's take a look at the industrial and economic history of these regions. Northern Europe, which includes countries like Germany, Sweden, Denmark, and the Netherlands, has a long history of industrialization. This started in the 19th century with the Industrial Revolution, which transformed these nations into economic powerhouses. The Industrial Revolution brought about advancements in technology, manufacturing, and transportation. Northern Europe embraced these changes, building factories, developing infrastructure, and expanding their economies. In contrast, Southern Europe, which includes countries like Italy, Spain, Greece, and Portugal, lagged behind in industrialization. These countries were more focused on agriculture and lacked the same level of investment in industrial development. This historical lag in industrialization has had long-lasting effects on their economies. To give you an idea, while Northern Europe was building railways and factories, Southern Europe was still heavily reliant on traditional farming methods. Next, let's talk about natural resources. Northern Europe is rich in natural resources like coal, oil, and natural gas. These resources have played a crucial role in the economic development of countries like Norway, which has become one of the wealthiest countries in the world thanks to its oil reserves. Sweden and Finland, with their vast forests, have developed strong timber and paper industries. These natural resources have provided a solid foundation for economic growth and development. Southern Europe, on the other hand, has fewer natural resources. While countries like Italy and Spain have some natural resources, they are not as abundant or as economically significant as those in the north. This lack of natural resources has made it more challenging for Southern European countries to build strong, diverse economies. They have had to rely more on tourism and agriculture, which can be less stable and less lucrative than industries based on natural resources. Geography also plays a significant role in the economic differences between Northern and Southern Europe. Northern Europe has a more favorable geography for trade and transportation. The region is home to several major rivers, like the Rhine and the Elbe, which have historically been important trade routes. Additionally, the coastline of Northern Europe is dotted with deep-water ports that facilitate international trade. This accessibility to trade routes has helped Northern European countries become major players in global trade. Southern Europe, with its mountainous terrain and less navigable rivers, has faced more challenges in developing efficient transportation networks. The Alps and the Pyrenees create natural barriers that have historically hindered trade and communication. While the Mediterranean Sea provides some opportunities for trade, the region's ports are not as well connected to the rest of Europe as those in the north. This geographical disadvantage has made it harder for Southern European countries to compete in the global market. Education and innovation are other critical factors that contribute to the wealth disparity between Northern and Southern Europe. Northern European countries have some of the best education systems in the world. They invest heavily in education, from primary school through to higher education. This focus on education has led to a highly skilled and knowledgeable workforce, which in turn drives innovation and economic growth. Countries like Sweden, Finland, and Iceland are known for their high levels of innovation and research and development. In Southern Europe, education systems have historically not received the same level of investment. While there are excellent universities and educational institutions in countries like Italy and Spain, they often face challenges such as underfunding and outdated curricula. This has resulted in a workforce that, on average, has lower levels of education and skills compared to their Northern European counterparts. Without a strong emphasis on education and innovation, it is more challenging for Southern European countries to compete in the global economy. In particular, having a lower level of education. This also spills over into the world of work. especially with taxes which in Southern Europe are very high and do not encourage people to work. Tax systems can be less efficient and less effective at redistributing wealth. Issues such as tax evasion and corruption have historically been more prevalent in Southern European countries, leading to less funding for public services and social programs. This lack of investment in public infrastructure and social welfare can hinder economic development and contribute to economic instability. On the contrary, instead, in the Northern European countries, there is high levels of taxation, but they also have well-developed social safety nets and public services. High taxes fund education, healthcare, infrastructure, and social welfare programs, which in turn support economic stability and growth. This model of high taxation and high public investment has helped Northern Europe build strong, resilient economies. Cultural differences also play a role in the economic disparity between Northern and Southern Europe. Northern European countries tend to have cultures that emphasize efficiency, punctuality, and long-term planning. These cultural traits are conducive to building strong, stable economies. In countries like Germany and Sweden, there is a strong work ethic and a focus on productivity, which has contributed to their economic success. In Southern Europe, cultures tend to be more relaxed and emphasize a slower pace of life. While this can lead to a high quality of life in many respects, it can also result in lower levels of productivity and economic efficiency. Additionally, Southern European countries have historically placed a higher value on family and social connections, which can sometimes take precedence over economic considerations that we talked before. Now, let's discuss some additional factors that contribute to the wealth disparity between Northern and Southern Europe. One such factor is political stability. Northern European countries generally have more stable political systems, with less frequent changes in government and fewer instances of political turmoil. This stability creates a favorable environment for economic growth and investment. Businesses and investors are more likely to invest in a country with a stable political climate, as it reduces the risk of sudden changes in policy or economic conditions. In contrast, Southern European countries have experienced more political instability over the years. Frequent changes in government, political corruption, and economic crises have created an environment of uncertainty. This instability can deter investment and hinder economic growth. When businesses and investors are unsure about the future political and economic landscape, they are less likely to take risks and invest in the region. Another factor to consider is the structure of the economies in Northern and Southern Europe. Northern European countries tend to have more diversified economies, with strong industrial, technological, and service sectors. This diversification makes them more resilient to economic shocks and downturns. For example, if one sector of the economy experiences a decline, other sectors can help offset the impact. Southern European economies are often less diversified, with a greater reliance on tourism, agriculture, and construction. While these sectors can be lucrative, they are also more vulnerable to economic fluctuations and external shocks. For instance, the global financial crisis of 2008 and the COVID-19 pandemic had a significant impact on Southern European countries that rely heavily on tourism. Without a diversified economic base, it is more challenging for these countries to recover from such crises. Additionally, Northern European countries generally have better governance and institutional frameworks. Strong institutions, effective governance, and the rule of law are crucial for economic development. They ensure that businesses can operate efficiently, contracts are enforced, and property rights are protected. Countries like Denmark and Finland consistently rank high in measures of governance and institutional quality. Southern European countries, while making progress, often face challenges in these areas. Issues such as bureaucratic inefficiencies, corruption, and weak legal systems can hinder economic development. When businesses face obstacles like lengthy bureaucratic processes or uncertain legal environments, it can discourage investment and economic activity. Finally, let's touch on social factors that contribute to the economic differences between Northern and Southern Europe. Northern European countries tend to have lower levels of income inequality and higher levels of social mobility. This means that there are more opportunities for individuals to improve their economic situation through education and employment. A more equal distribution of income and opportunities can support economic growth by ensuring that a larger portion of the population can contribute to and benefit from economic activity. In Southern Europe, income inequality can be higher and social mobility lower. This means that there are fewer opportunities for individuals from lower income backgrounds to improve their economic situation. High levels of inequality can lead to social and economic problems, such as reduced consumer spending and increased social unrest. Addressing these issues is crucial for promoting economic growth and improving the overall quality of life. In conclusion, it is as if Southern Europe had lagged a few centuries behind Northern Europe, but despite this, Southern Europe is working hard to keep up with Northern Europe and eliminate this imaginary line that separates them. And in your opinion, how can this disparity be eliminated? Let me know with a comment below. And if you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more future content.